The dawning of a new era in CSB sports.
We're so awesome that even our school wants us. You got to come on here. AllNoiseRadio.com, baby.
Bringing you a wide variety of topics in the world of sports.
Hockey, basketball, baseball, football. Get ready.
We work hard. Love sports.
The knowledge.
I just want to make you look bad, Ruggs, because you always make me look bad with your sports intellect.
The passion.
Hey, Jimmy, you're going to be the best-looking guy on the unemployment line, buddy. What a disgrace.
It's the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio.
From the CSB studios in Stratford, Connecticut, it's the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio, bringing you a wide variety of topics in the world of sports. I'm Ruggs, and I'm here with my partner, my main man, Zuki. What's up, Zuki? Welcome to the show.
What's happening, partner? How's
How
it going,
doing,
brother?
Man?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, we got a lot of stories going on here in the world of sports. Usually a dead period in sports, but
Not this year.
not this year. A lot of action, a lot of stuff going on. And one story that's really irked me, Ruggs, and one story that's really stuck in my craw is,
Kick it off for us, baby.
I tell you, brother, I am so sick and I have had enough. I am fed up with this Roger Goodell. Just when you think there's an off season in the NFL, just when you think you've gotten a reprieve from Roger Goodell's
That's what he wants. He wants you to talk about him all year long.
Yeah, just when you think you got a reprieve from his dictatorship, the Gestapo of sport returns with an idiotic idea. I understand. Listen, I'm all for being classy. I'm all for using valor and being clean and stuff, but this is a joke. Now he's going to try to clean up players' language. I mean, what happened to the First Amendment? He's another guy just destroying the Constitution of the United States of America. I don't get it. I don't understand how in the world, Ruggs, this guy who's never played in the NFL, who never played, I don't think he even played football. Maybe he played two-hand touch with his buddies, his elitist buddies in Greenwich, Connecticut somewhere, wearing a pink jersey. I don't know, this guy knows about football anyway. He's a lawyer in a suit who will probably be the next president of the United States in about 8 years, this clown. And he's going to tell people, the players, oh, don't use the N-word, don't use this, don't say that. Listen, Roger, you know what, Roger, how about you just worry about, go on a vacation, okay? Just go somewhere far, far away. Maybe go to that island that Tom Hanks was stuck on in Castaway. Okay, but please, just go away. Just leave. Just the next time you think about making a rule or you think about, making a change in the NFL, don't. Okay? Just shut up. Just go away and just leave us be. Okay?
Well, he's obviously never heard of if it's not broke, don't fix it. NFL, the money-making machine that it is.
The product sells itself. It's very simple. Americans love football, okay? Football will sell itself. Okay? Stop it. Listen, I don't like the N-word, okay? We all know it's a disgusting word, but these guys use it in different contexts, okay? And, we know, Ruggs, the game's intense.
Yep.
You got these guys are seemingly animals when they play. I don't want to hear it. These guys are animals. These guys get into an animalistic rage, okay? And they're trying to kill each other, seemingly. Sometimes words fly. F-bombs, your mama, I had your wife last night, your kid's my kid. Yeah, the guys talk trash, dude. It's the way it goes. What are you going to try to do? Clean up the game?
It's going to be, I doth protest you blocked me too hard, sir.
Yeah.
I will now vanquish thee.
There you go. A little old English football, right. It's a joke. This is never going to work, in my opinion, Ruggs. Listen, now, and what it's all about, as we know, Ruggs, is these guys have this pipe dream. They're going to get microphones down on the field. Like, we really need to hear the players talking. Like, right. I don't want to hear the players' dialogue, okay? I don't want to hear it. I don't care about the play call. I don't understand it anyway, okay? I don't want to hear these guys talking. I want to see these guys hit each other, okay? And you know what I'd like to see, Roger? I don't want to see 15 flags on the frickin' field. It's just a joke. This guy is just destroying the game of football. He is just taking this game and just flushing it right down the toilet. And everyone's saying like, he's doing a great job. He's not. He sucks.
Well, I think the hardest thing to correct, Zuki, is the friendly fire. These guys will admit, I mean, the biggest offenders of using the N-word
are black players.
Exactly. It's the friendly fire aspect of it all. I mean, are you going to flag Are you going to flag on that situation? I mean, what are you going to do? Say, oh, you can't call him that?
It can be used as a term of endearment as well, as we know. It can be used.
And that's how it's used I'd say 90% of the time on the field.
Yeah.
That's what very rarely do you get where it goes white player on black player.
Never.
When that happens, you get a Romanowski kind of thing. You get the
Right.
whole world knows about it. It's not something that happens often. I know he doesn't want it to show up in the NFL films, in the audio segments when you are mic'd, like you were saying, down on.
Those get edited anyway.
And they get
we know,
edited
we know
anyway.
that, Ruggs. Please, we learned that in the Connecticut School of Broadcasting, for crying out loud. But
No, our shows are never anything but perfect. The first take.
I meant
You hear that out there? First take.
First take, yeah, unedited, raw. Zuki and Ruggs go raw. But in all seriousness, this is all about him placating to whatever
I don't know
whatever group that is upset or offended about the whole Jonathan Martin, Richie Incognito situation. It's like one isolated incident, and everyone has to suffer because of one. Richie Incognito and Jonathan Martin was an isolated incident. It's not a league-wide problem. Stop it. That's retarded. It's not a league-wide problem, okay? It was an isolated incident. Stop it with this. Now we got to regulate everything because one jackass, and Richie Incognito has a reputation. He had a reputation years before this happened. If you didn't know Richie Incognito was a scumbag, then you just weren't paying attention. I was not shocked.
Every player in the league says that.
I was not shocked in the least bit when I heard about this because I know Richie Incognito is a head case.
I've never seen a player that's been swung at more times on the field
Than Incognito.
than Incognito. No matter where he's played, when he was with St. Louis, Miami, wherever he's been.
Even when he was with us in Buffalo.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
For a cup of coffee.
Yep.
We got him on the scrap heap from the Rams, and the Bills said, "Get out of here." He played with the Bills for about 8 games. The Bills said, "Oh no, get the hell out of here."
Very talented lineman. A lot of people are willing to take the risk with him to get the benefit of having a guard who can push people around the way he does. But he's very tough to coach.
Yep.
And get along with this. Maybe not so much tough to coach because he is a veteran and he just kind of goes and he knows what he's got to do. But he's tough to impress upon with discipline and get along with his teammates. That's his biggest issue, always has been. It's just what players in the league say about him. They don't like him. He's one of the least liked guys in the league.
Oh, no, he is a scumbag. There's no doubt about it. I'm sorry to say. So, but back to my original point. I mean, so don't take this out. Don't make it a league-wide problem when it's not, Ruggs. That's my point about this whole thing.
Some more things are coming to the surface about hazing, but, these guys are grown men. These guys play a gladiator sport.
And the thing is, again, it's another double standard. What about Martin saying stuff back to Incognito? It's not like Martin was some total, complete victim here. Come on. He was responding to Incognito in the text messages. I read some of them. Some of the things he was saying back to Incognito were reprehensible. Don't make this a league-wide thing is basically my point. I mean, listen, stop it now. We don't need Roger. My point is this. We don't need mics on the field. We don't want mics on the field. You know what we want? We want Jim Nantz to call the game with Phil Simms. Joe Buck, Jesus Christ. But yes, you know what? I'd rather listen to Joe Buck than hearing mics on the field. I don't need Tom Brady. I don't need to hear Tom Brady yelling at his receivers. Okay? I don't need to hear Luke Kuechly, talking trash to Colin Kaepernick. I don't need to hear it. I don't care. I don't need a mic on a field.
Do you know what league mic'd the field and all the players?
Who was that?
Well, I'll give you 2 leagues, and neither one of them are around anymore. The XFL and the World Football League.
Yeah. There you go, Roger. Good job.
That was the big thing about both of those leagues when they came in is, we're going to mic everybody.
It's such a joke. It's so stupid. Roger Goodell, the next time you want to think about something, don't. Just stop thinking. Just let the NFL run itself. And God, I'm so sick of Roger Goodell. I mean, it's just so stupid. I mean, it's never going to fly, Ruggs. Hopefully this gets nipped right in the bud, and someone they just kill this idea.
Yeah, it's having a big problem getting through the players' union right now.
And hopefully the players' union
I think
just
it might
kills
die on the vine right there.
Thank God. Just kill it. It's just such a stupid idea. It doesn't even need to be brought up. Shouldn't even be on the table. You know what should be on the table is the resignation of Roger Goodell. What a clown in a suit. Another suit who doesn't know anything about the game.
Well, the owners like him, so he's not going anywhere. He's making the owners money, but
you know what though? How much money is he making the owners really? Really? Or are we making the owners money?
Well, in the end, we're the consumer.
What does Goodell do? Honestly, I'd really love to do this. I would really love to follow Raj on a day-to-day basis and see exactly what the hell he does. What does he do? The NFL runs itself. It really. What does he do? Promote it? Oh, a monkey could promote the NFL.
Well, he's promoting it overseas. We're going to have the Tokyo Dragons and the London.
Yeah. There you go. A one world football league. That's all we need next. Everyone should play football. Yay! Just like everyone should have a house, and everyone should be rich, and everyone should have this, and everyone should have that. God, just shut up, Roger. Enough. Anyway,
you really are a crotchety conservative bastard.
I can't. It's just, it's like, it's like a socialism, man. It's just this Goodell's a socialist Gestapo dictator. I'm just so sick of him. Oh, God, yeah, let's regulate the player's speech now. What a joke. Got a new code of conduct, guys. No talking on the field. What a joke. It's bad enough as the fans before you walk into these football stadiums, you're practically strip searched before you walk into the game. I mean, it's like football is almost becoming like unconstitutional. It's like you lose your Fourth Amendment as a fan walking into these damn stadiums. Now the players have
any sports venue really.
The NFL's the worst.
They are the worst.
The worst. It's terrible. It's pretty bad.
We didn't go to the Super Bowl, but imagine what that was like in New York.
Oh my God.
It must have been. You probably went through the X-ray machine like a piece of luggage, probably, to get in there.
Yeah. Is that a flashlight, sir? No, it's not. No, it's not. A joke. It's just so silly. But anyway, enough with Roger Goodell. I'm sick and tired of talking about him and his ideas there. Speaking of another thing in the NFL, some big stories. The Combine's going on right now. Let's get to some positive things here that Roger Goodell doesn't have his grimy little hands on.
He's involved in a big way, I'm sure.
Doing what? Getting the guy's Gatorade and getting paid $50 million for that? Hey, Michael Sam, you thirsty, buddy?
I'm sure he's got his
stamp
on Indianapolis, even if he's not there.
Yeah, he's everywhere, Goodell. He's viral. Is he in the sauna with Michael Sam, maybe? Hey, Mike, how you doing, buddy? But anyway, so speaking of which, we got the Combine going on. Big story was Jadeveon Clowney yesterday running a 4.53 official 40 time. My God, looks like a stud, Ruggs. I still believe the Houston Texans should take him at number one.
The best player in the draft coming out.
They should take him at number one. I understand you need a quarterback. There's a lot of quarterbacks, but you know what? This guy is special. He's got Bruce Smith-like talent, and just the prospect of having him on a defensive line with J.J. Watt. I mean, it scares me, and I'm not even a quarterback. I couldn't imagine what Andrew Luck and, a bum like Jake Locker and the rest of these guys in the division would be thinking about.
Wow, brutal.
Or Chad Henne, whoever the Jacksonville quarterback's going to be. I mean, hey, okay, let Jacksonville go get Blake Bortles. Yeah, I think Blake Bortles will be having nightmares of looking on one side and seeing Jadeveon Clowney and then look to the other and see J.J. Watt. He won't be sleeping on Saturday night. I'm telling you that right now. Okay? So if I'm Houston, I'm doing it. They probably won't because they're idiotic, but I would do it. And then you know what I would do, honestly? I would call the Washington Redskins, and I'd say, here, take my high second-round pick and give us Kirk Cousins. And I would do it. I think I like Cousins. I think Cousins can be a solid NFL quarterback. He's got weapons there in Houston. I would do it. I would give Cousins a shot and just take this Clowney and just go for it.
I agree with taking Clowney. I'm not a big fan of Kirk Cousins. He's solid, but I don't think he's not a guy getting you the Super Bowl. That's my point. I don't see it.
If you've got a world-class defense and a strong, I know Foster's going to have a big.
I know Trent Dilfer won a Super Bowl once, but
I mean, I don't know, man. Russell Wilson. Is Russell Wilson, you know what I'm saying?
The league is changing, and maybe I'm just not changing quickly enough to get with it. But.
No, I'm not trying to say Kirk Cousins. No, I'm with you. He's not elite, for crying out loud. I'm not saying Kirk Cousins is going to be a first-ballot Hall of Famer now. But, I mean, looking at the options.
I think it's a good stopgap. It's a good thing to go do. If you can get him, like you said, for a second-round pick. I don't know Washington's going to give him up for a second-round pick.
I would, because you're talking about the 33rd pick in the draft. Because I think Washington they'd better do it.
They might try to go. They might try to.
The return on investment would be great because they drafted him. I mean, I would do it
certainly. I mean,
Washington has no first-round pick, so they need to get into that draft. And then at least if Washington has 2 high second-round picks,
those are better than first-round.
Yeah,
picks late.
So
because you're getting two guys that are virtually first-round picks, and you can pay them the second-round rate.
I think Washington – I mean, this is all speculatory, hypothetical, but I think Washington would be foolish if they rejected that trade. If Houston said, we'll give you like the 33rd pick in the draft for Kirk Cousins, I'd be like, where do I sign if I'm the Redskins? Oh, my God. Forget about it. And you get the 33rd pick and I think they get back-to-back picks, wouldn't they? Yeah.
Oh, you would in that situation.
Yeah. Oh, you could. Back-to-back picks, dude. Come on. Dude, that'd be a blessing for the Redskins. But, of course, I'm just speculating here. But that's what I would do, Ruggs. I mean, what do you think? You've already said you're not a big Cousins fan, which is fine. Listen, again, I'm not trying to say the guy's going to be Peyton Manning. But I think he could be a
Houston's got to be careful because they have to worry about not being pressured by the fan base, because I know the fan base is probably saying to go get Manziel.
Yeah.
And you got to be careful because that's where Case Keenum came in. That's why they were playing him a lot during the end of the year. He really just wasn't the answer.
I don't know if Keenum was because he was a homer from Houston. I just think they gave a young guy a shot. I mean,
once he got in there, though, the crowd really did not respond well when they put Schaub back in the lineup.
Yeah.
And they were booing when he got hurt.
Yeah, I think Houston was fed up.
Sometimes the owners can get caught up in that, and depending on what kind of owner you have, how much they want to get.
Bob McNair is a good man.
If you don't have an owner that wants to get his hands in on making the selection himself, then you're okay.
Well, we remember what happened the last time Houston had the number 1 draft pick. There was a little controversy, and I'll tell you what, when Charlie Casserly, who's now at CBS, he was the GM of Houston at the time, and he chose Mario Williams over Reggie Bush, and people killed him for it. But you know what? You look at a couple of those years, man. He made the right choice. It really was not a bad decision.
No, no, not at all.
Mario Williams ended up being an All-Pro defensive end, and Reggie Bush ended up being injured a lot of years there for the Saints. So it really wasn't a bad choice. So we'll see what happens. That's just what I would do. And then looking at the Combine real quick, we know Michael Sam, he participated in the Combine. And like I said here 2 weeks ago, when we were talking about the man as a football player, I said it. His 40 time would be very important, and he did not help himself with his 40 time, Ruggs. What did he run there, buddy?
His unofficial was around a 4:89.
Oof.
And you may have gotten his official time. I don't know if you did or not, but it's high.
Yeah, it is high. Yeah. Then I was reading
for the positions. He's not an offensive tackle.
Oh no, but
he's not a punter running.
He's a pass rusher.
He's a pass rusher.
Oof. That's not good.
The linebacking position.
That's not good.
Covering receivers.
Yes. And then I was reading scouting reports about him. Then of course we know about the bench press. He had the lowest repetitions of 225. What do you have?
He had 17.
17 reps at 225, right? Which is not a very good sign.
Most guys were 21 or over.
Yeah. So, and then I was reading a scouting report on him on CBS, and man, I did not like what I read. Reading basically, he does not move well side to side.
Yeah.
Basically, he's got stone feet.
Big no-no for that position.
Yeah, and the one good physical trait he has, which is long arms, they're saying he doesn't even use them, to block passes or anything,
right?
Or to get away from offensive linemen. They're like, so he basically doesn't even know how to use the one positive physical trait that he has. That is not a good sign.
No, it's not. I won't kill him for the bench press reps because I honestly think that's only important if you're a lineman.
I agree.
Because you have to throw the guys off you. An offensive lineman, if you can't bench press more than 17 reps, you're in trouble.
Yeah. The problem is this, though. Now he's weak and he's slow.
But it's not where it hurts him is in everybody's mindsets.
And
the GMs are thinking.
I mean, look at Von Miller, for example. I don't think Von Miller, was going to bench press, 30 reps of 225. He ain't a big guy.
No.
But he's got lightning quick speed. He's got great lateral movement, and he's a monster. Whereas Michael Sam, he's got poor lateral movement. It looks like poor quickness. I don't know, man. It's just kind of odd. I read the scouting report, and I'm like, how in the world did this guy win the SEC co-defensive player of the year? And then I kind of started scratching.
Well, he's a heart guy, is what they say. He's a guy that just plays with a motor.
Yeah,
plays with heart. He's gonna need to be.
He better get some gum out for that motor.
He's a late round pick.
That's what he is. He ain't helping himself. I tell you right now, I've already heard that GMs have taken him off the draft board, and this combine did not help him. So again, folks, I don't want to hear it if he doesn't get drafted. I don't want to hear this people are anti-gay. No,
this is ridiculous.
No, if Jadeveon Clowney came out and said he was gay and didn't get drafted, then you might have something there. You definitely would have something. Not maybe. You definitely have something there. But no, if Michael Sam does not get drafted here, I would not be shocked at all. But he will. I think he'll be about a 5th to 6th round. I would take him in the 6th round if I was a team like.
Yeah,
If I was like the New England Patriots, I'd say okay.
He's a good enough player to get drafted within 7 rounds of football.
I'd take him in the 5th, between the 5th and 7th. I'd say.
Yeah.
I think if he had an excellent combine, he would have been maybe a 3rd. But with an combine, I make him between the 5th and the 7th. So yeah, we'll see, man. It's it's pretty cool. Combine's looking good and stuff like that. But yeah, it looks like we have to take a break here on All Noise Radio. And after the break, we'll get to some more stuff.
We'll wrap up the Olympics.
The Olympics,
especially the hockey
yes.
tournaments, men and women's.
Yes,
quick.
The disappointments of the USA. Hey, Patrick Kane, what are you saving your shootout goals for the Stanley Cup Finals, buddy? Jeez.
Yep.
Why don't you go play for Canada, you bum? But we'll get into that on the next segment on All Noise Radio.
These aren't mine. And why aren't you wearing your wedding ring?
See, what had happened was,
You should have had an Al's alibi.
Where are they?
Even Joker needs an Al's alibi. Are you tired of allegations that may or may not be true? Come to Al's Alibi, located down the road from Alberto's in Atlanta, on that street. You're the one. Ask for Marv. We'll get you situated with the perfect alibi, because why tell the truth when we can make one for you?
You can't handle the truth.
Al's Alibis in Atlanta. Just listen to these satisfied customers.
I used to sleep on the lawn, but now I get to sleep on the couch. Thanks, Al's Alibis.
And you didn't disappoint.
Al's Alibis. You know where to find us. Don't go through the front door.
Al's Alibis is not responsible for any beatings, bruisings, battering, or blundering. If our alibi doesn't work, then that sucks for you. Al's Alibis is not certified, and we cannot accept any checks, credit cards, or IOUs. All alibis must be paid for in cash and handed to us in a suitcase. Al's Alibis, the alibi you may or may not be able to trust.
Why'd they get rid of the fighting? It's the best part of the old version. I think kids were hitting each other or something, man.
Talking sports.
Yeah, but you know what, Mike? You can make their heads bleed on this. Make somebody's head bleed. In the playoffs.
It's the Zuki and Ruggs Show.
I'm gonna make Wayne Gretzky's head bleed for super fan number 99 over here.
On All Noise Radio.
Back on the Zuki and Ruggs Show. This is our first episode airing since the Olympics came to a conclusion. Quite a few things to talk about. A little bit of an interesting hockey tournament on the men's and women's side for the U.S. Both teams started off like a house of fire, got into the semifinals. The girls won their semifinal easily, went into the gold medal game, and dominated the number one team in the world in Canada for 57 and a half minutes, Zook.
Oh, yeah.
And then it just all went to pieces.
Yeah, well, they really were impressive, the USA women. I was very proud of their effort. No matter the result, they gave it all they had, and damn, they had it for 57 and a half minutes, like you said. Unfortunately, a goal there for Team Canada with about 3 minutes to go. Went off,
3:26, I believe.
Yeah, went off a defenseman there. Made it 2-1, and then of course, you're thinking, okay, you get the O's, as most of us did. You're like, oh, damn, here comes Canada. They got a goal. Oh no, they have life.
Right. It's important because then it lets you pull the goalie, and that's what ended up happening. It gives you that chance to get that extra attacker.
Yeah,
when you're 2 goals down, it's
right. It's kind of a moot point.
Right.
Yeah, you're done. But then, of course, they pull the goalie and. We hit a post there with the empty net. It looked like, man, I thought
Did you ever see anything like that?
I've been watching hockey for a long time. I really have never seen
to hit it right on the screws like that, right in the center.
I mean, if you watch the trajectory of the puck, it looks like it's going in. You're like, oh my God, here we go. Then all of a sudden, it just takes a little left, and it just bing right off the post, and I'm like, oh no. And then, of course, Canada comes back on a great play. Really, just a blown defense, in my opinion, on that sequence there on the tying goal.
I think they got tight, Zook. I really do. I think
probably.
They were playing lights out on defense.
Yeah, you can't let an offensive player get behind you, then you can't let an offensive player get in front of you. You can't lose discipline like that, and that's exactly what happened.
And I know they had overtime, but psychologically the game was over.
Yes.
There's no way they could recover from that and win that game. Unless they needed a fluke goal for them to be able to win, and then they get a penalty.
Yeah.
And Canada goes on a power play, and I'm like, it's gonna end soon.
And it did. Canada really ramped it up in overtime. The women did. I mean, you got Marie-Philip Poulin, who scored the tying goal. It was a great play on her part. And then, of course, she buries the OT game winner there to give the Canadian women the gold, their 500th gold medal in Olympic history.
It was just it's amazing how Canada turns it on when they need to. because
you know what's scary about it, Ruggs? And I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go for it.
It was very reminiscent of the first game,
Yes.
because USA was up 2-0,
Yes.
And then they go into the third period and Canada scored 3 goals and won the game 3-2, and they dominated the third period, the first meeting. And now they go to the gold medal game, and we're up 2-0, looking like we're in good shape, and then the Canadian women, man, just came on strong, and
it was a little bit like the 06 final too. Was
yes.
like that. The thing that I think is the funniest about how with Canada, and we'll get into it with the men also because they're very similar. In the World Championships, the American women had won 5 out of the last 7, and it's in the Olympics. These are basically the same teams. Yeah, they tweak a roster here and there and switch a lineup, but basically when Canada is interested and says, nah, we have to have this, they can turn it up that little extra notch and win in a battle of teams that are so closely matched, you wouldn't think they'd be able to get away with that.
Right.
And in the World Championships, when they want to win a World Championship, but the Americans win 5 out of 7. And in the Olympics, I believe the last time the Americans won was Nagano in 98.
Yeah.
And Canada's swept ever since.
It just looks like it's a matter of who wants the most. I'm sure the American women really wanted it, but it just seems like Canada they play 60 minutes, man. You got to play 60 minutes. I know the first goal was kind of fluky. It went off an American defender, and
But great teams build on that, and that's what they're able to do.
That's it, man. And you got to bury these teams. You have to bury them. You don't give them a shot. Just like the Canadian men did last Friday against the American men. You don't give them a shot. You bury them. You don't let them enter your zone. You kill them in the neutral zone. You dominate them in the neutral zone. You smother them. You bury them. And that's exactly what we saw on Friday.
Yeah, I watched their preliminary games.
Right.
They weren't impressive. They won.
Yeah.
They were good. They're Canada, but they weren't overly impressive, beating Finland in overtime.
Yeah. Well, Finland ended up being a great team, as we saw.
Yeah, even in the quarterfinal against Latvia, very pedestrian effort.
Oh, yeah.
2-1 win.
Yeah. No, they weren't dominant. They really weren't, the Canadian men. But when they had
when it's go time,
yeah, and they played hard against the Americans, really dominated them. Got to give the Jonathan Quick on that game. Without Jonathan Quick, I think Canada wins that game 5-0.
Oh, he played great.
He played unbelievable. He kept us in the game, no doubt about it. Hammed and zone Jonathan Quick made us very proud. But just a very tough loss for the American men. I know they tried in that game, no doubt about it. Canada was just through and through the better team, and we knew that.
They are. They're the best team in the world.
We knew that going in. They were the better team. And Ruggs, got to give myself a pat on the back, brother. I called it, man.
You went Sweden down there.
Yeah, I did. Sure did there. But, what are you going to do for the American men in that game? That was just a tough loss.
Would you have gone with Miller in the bronze medal game, being as in the
I
bronze medal they had to go right? I thought that going in.
I would have, yes. No, I know you don't.
And they wouldn't. They couldn't score. They didn't put a goal up in either of those 2 games.
Right.
Anybody could have played.
Yeah.
But I think
it's
Quick
not
was spent.
It's not to punish Quick. I think you're right, Ruggs. I would have gone Ryan Miller in the bronze medal game. Because at that point you're playing for the bronze. Let Miller get in there and play a game.
And you didn't get the day off like Canada did in Sweden for the gold medal. You had to go right away.
Yes.
Not even 24 hours later because it was a little bit of an earlier start.
Agreed, Ruggs. I would have gone Miller in the bronze medal game.
And he shut out I think he gave up 1 goal late to Slovakia in the preliminary round because they gave him that 1 start, and he did well. It's not like he was totally rusty, and you can make a case, all right, he hasn't played, but he did play the 1 game, and he performed well. I would have went with him, but I mean, it's splitting hairs. They just didn't
score. Yeah, exactly, Ruggs. And I gotta say, Ruggs, I'll kick it over to you, but what are your thoughts, man? I'll surmise it this way. I was embarrassed on Sunday to be an American. Or Saturday. Excuse me, Saturday, right? Was the game? Or was it Saturday?
Yeah, the bronze medal game. Yeah,
Saturday morning, man. Embarrassed to be an American. I mean, it was just that bad. I mean, that is a pitiful, gutless.
Did not show up
performance
at all.
You're playing for a bronze medal. You guys are professionals. I mean, Herb Brooks must have been turned over in his damn grave, and that was a disgrace. Pitiful performance. Hey, Patrick Kane, you talk all your trash, you rant and rave, you do your little stupid dance in Chicago okay? When you score a stupid goal with that stupid song of yours, all right? Your second fiddle to your boy Taves over there in Chicago, the madhouse on Madison, you bum. Hey, can you score a goal, please? Can you get the lump out of your throat, you bum? Can you play like a 2-time Stanley Cup champion? Or are you just riding Jonathan Taves' coattails, you scrub? What a disgrace. It was just a pathetic performance through and through. Stupid penalties in the third period. You know, can you play a little disciplined hockey? Can you play like champions? Some of these guys.
Finland had a lot of. If 49-year-old Teemu Selanne,
the guys
can come out and play with a lot of heart and a lot of fire, these youngsters on this American team got to show more fire than they did.
And I don't want to hear about fatigue. Oh, we were tired. Shut up. I don't want to hear it.
And Finland played the same.
Gutless.
They played the day before also.
Gutless, cowardly, crybaby performance. Just a complacent performance on the part of the American team. Just pitiful. And Bilesman, do me a favor, with your fluke Stanley Cup ring that you won against Detroit in 2009. What a fluke Stanley Cup that was.
He's got to learn how to make an adjustment.
He didn't switch anything up. Most overrated coach.
Terrible.
Ruggs, he is not a very good coach. I mean, Ruggs, I've watched Pittsburgh games. He is infamous for not making adjustments. Look at the Boston series last year.
Yep.
I mean, just thoroughly dominated for 4 games. You get dominated the first 2 games, and it's like, what are you going to do, Dan? I don't know. Just go through the motions, I guess. Shucks. He's a bum.
You got to switch your lines.
Hopefully we get a new coach in there in 4 years. He's
stir something up. Try to get some goals, get some pressure on the net. Carey Price wasn't challenged at all in the Canada game, and then Rask basically was back there taking a siesta for the bronze medal game. Just embarrassed. And really, I'm going to go off a little here too on the American team in general. I know everybody's like, well, they were the second most medals. They won 28 medals. They were embarrassing. This team, this U.S. Olympic team as a whole, is better than 28 medals. And 12 of those medals, I believe, were bronze. Mm-hmm. So I think it was 9, 7, and 12, if I remember correctly. I'm just going off memory here, but it's in that neighborhood. You're going to tell me with all these stars and all this money that's spent and all this training and all this time that you're only worth 9 gold medals in a 17-day period? They added an extra day to the Olympic Games, for God's sakes. Come on. You got Shaun White, you got Shawnee Davis, Bodie Miller. You didn't have Lindsey Vonn because she got hurt. Maybe there was a possible gold medal that went down the tubes. You got the U.S. hockey team. Yeah, I know they weren't the gold medal favorite, but you got 2 shots with 2 good hockey teams. You got 2, possibly 3 medal level figure skaters on the women's side. They don't medal, and I hate sports where it's subjective like that and it's judge based. They pretty much deserve the placings that they got. The only ones who went and showed up and did what they were supposed to do pretty much were the ice dancing pair, Davis and White. I mean, they came out, they were supposed to be the best in the world, and they kicked ass. They just came out there and they were right on, and they had a great performance and deserved a gold medal, and they got it. Even the Russians, it was noticeably icy cold reception. They did not treat our skaters on the men's, women's, the pairs, or the ice dancing with any kind of warm reception. I mean, they're very lightly applauding, no standing O's, a great performance. The only one who got any kind of reaction were Davis and White. I mean, they even were able to win over the Russians. I mean, the relationships have gotten a lot better, obviously, between the 2 countries, but there's still a long way to go, you can tell. I was kind of upset in the end to see, Putin kind of got sitting there saying, Russia won the Olympics. He's not happy because the hockey, we talked about it, hockey didn't get the gold medal. He's like, as long as hockey gets the gold medal, nothing else matters, and nothing else matters if we don't get it. Well, he had to change his tone quickly when he saw the performance, because he had to know early on that they weren't going to win a medal.
Yeah, he ate some crow on that one.
Yeah, but I mean, they close out the Olympics with a sweep in the cross country marathon. It's
I saw that
31K. I mean,
yes, they just dominated.
I don't even want to go into like Norway, how embarrassed they have to be. I mean, that's a sport that they own, and to let Russia sweep the medals on that, I mean, they just had to be sick. Sweden, same thing.
Yeah.
But
little home field advantage for the Russians in those
and they really
on Sunday,
because their first week was not great.
No, it was not.
They didn't look like they were going to disappoint, and I was kind of a little bit happy. USA was a little disappointing too, and I'm like, well. But in the second week, the Americans got slightly better, but the Russians just took it over, and really just an all around
Just a big
Ho-hum
disappointment.
performance.
It really was disappointing, Ruggs. I think it's a borderline disaster for America.
Yeah.
You know, at least the girls brought home a silver medal in hockey, but still, they should have won gold. Bodie Miller was disappointing yet again, in my opinion. I'm sorry. And the only guy I'm really proud of is Ted Ligety.
Yeah, and even he was 1 for 4 or 1 for 5 in events
that's
he
true.
had. I mean,
that's true.
But he got the gold. If you get a gold, you kind of
it makes up for it. It's
like Michaela Schifrin went out there and won, dominated the
18-year-old.
She went out there and laid it down.
We did have some highlights, but you're right. Overall, it was disappointing. Shaun White was disappointing. Dan Barry's own Lindsay Jacobellis, of course, as we. Yep. Sarcastically, kind of mocked her. But that was disappointing. I mean, she should have won gold.
And what I'm worried about, Zook, is they went out in this Olympics with an old, star-laden set of Olympians expected to win a lot of medals because they're 2- and 3-time Olympians that have been champions before, and it didn't work out. They got outdone by a younger, hungrier Russia team.
Yes.
What's going to happen 4 years from now? They're going to none of these people are going to be back for the most part.
No.
I know I've heard some people like Shawnee Davis saying, he'll be back in the next one. Whatever. I'm not really interested to see that because
me neither.
His legs look dead.
Kind of over Shawnee Davis, yeah.
So whoever these guys that are coming back, guys and girls that are coming back for 4 years from now, I'm not excited about it. I mean, maybe they're going to have a pipeline, but it's scary. They didn't have any young talent other than Schifrin coming into this game. I mean, she was really the shining light of the whole games, but for the Americans.
Well, Ligety will be there, definitely.
And Davis and White say they're done. They're not gonna compete in the next Olympics. So
figure skaters usually are done.
They proved what they needed to.
Yes, they did. They did make the country proud. Yes, they did. And I think Jacobellis will probably be back. She'll be 32 in 4 years. Hopefully, she just learns how to friggin' stay on her feet and not fall down every Olympics. Bodie Miller, we know, is probably done. Shaun White looks like he should be in Hollywood, go make some movies or something.
Yeah, I don't know if the desire is there. I think the biggest thing was he wanted the 3-peat, and now he doesn't have a chance for that. I think he's probably
finished. He's probably finished. And he should be. I didn't like the way Shaun White carried himself coming into this Olympics. I did not like that at all. It just looked like, you're right, like you said last week, he just looked like corporate Shaun White. Just he was there for the wrong reasons. So good riddance. You made us proud. You're a great snowboarder, dude, and all of that. But like I said last week, when you go to the Olympics for personal reasons, you're there for all of the wrong reasons. So just do the country a favor and stay home, okay? Go on the Wheaties box, okay, Sean? Peddle some more products, okay? Give up your spot for somebody else who's hungry, okay? But thank you for your service. You again, I don't mean to sound like anything great here. The guy made America proud countless times over, but you know what? It's over. It's over. It's time to move on.
Basically, Zook, if they didn't have these new events, these slope-style events, and events that had not previously been in the Olympic Games, we really would have been in a lot worse shape.
Yes.
We won a lot of medals kind of cherry-picking these new events.
Yes.
That a lot of the other countries are a step or two behind us. You take 7-8 medals away right there.
Yeah.
If it's not for the slope styles and the ski half pipes and all these things that did not exist before.
I agree. I just think, unfortunately for us, it just was not a very good experience. I mean, 12 bronzes, second in medals is great, but it was a little disappointing. Absolutely. Hope 4 years they go elsewhere and they can, where is it, China in 4 years?
Korea.
Yep. So, we'll see how Korea goes, and that's it. What do you think about the Olympics as a whole, Ruggs, in terms of, like, the event itself? Not just the American result and stuff like that. What do you think about the event itself?
Well, it's expensive because they spent $51 billion.
Yeah.
Putin's money for a country is very economically underachieving as a whole. And they make our economy look like it's in a boom time. And they're spending $51 billion on the Olympics.
Yeah.
Outspending Beijing by $10 billion for the most expensive all-time Olympics. That's great, and the spectacle was there, but that's a 2-week thing, and it's over.
Yeah.
Now what's left behind?
It's a big debt, a big hole.
Exactly, and there is...
All you got to do is ask my country of origin, Greece, how the 2004 Olympics helped them. It did not. It made things worse. I think you can attribute a lot of the financial ruin in Greece right now to that 2004 Olympics, to be honest with you.
And it's a very corrupt...
Oh, Russia?
Well, even the IOC is just laced with corruption.
Oh, no kidding. How about the whole thing with Nick Backstrom? Wasn't that odd?
Very odd.
I mean, right before the game, it's like, hey, Nick, by the way, you're not playing. Why? You failed a doping test, and come to find out, all he did was he just took too much allergy medicine. Really? I mean, come on. That was really stupid, and the IOC is just so idiotic. Hey, what are you going to do? The Olympics are over? Just like that, it's crazy. You get all this hype, all this anticipation, and in 2 weeks, it's done. I mean, it really goes by in a flash, but it was fun. You got
2.5 years till Rio.
Yeah, so it was pretty fun. Disappointed in the American team in hockey, though. You got two guys here who aren't very proud of the American team, but congratulations to Canada and winning both hockey golds, and congratulations to Team Sweden. Didn't really touch on them, but they really that's a team that has a lot of reasons to make excuses. They had a ton of injuries. They lost my guy, Henrik Zetterberg, who just had back surgery last Friday. Looks like he's going to be out 8 weeks, but I'm not believing that. I think he's done for the year. Just, you know what? Just let him go. If I'm the Red Wings, if I'm Ken Holland and the Red Wings, it's not even worth it. We're not a Stanley Cup contender. Just stay home, Henrik. We'll come back next year. We'll pick it up next year. Forget it. Just stay home, get healthy, forget about it. And then, of course, you also look at Henrik Sedin, Johan Franzen, and then, of course, as I touched on earlier a few minutes ago, the pathetic, decision by the IOC to bench Nicholas Backstrom because of a doping, quote-unquote, scandal or, please. The guy took too much Benadryl or something, whatever he did. It's so stupid. But, and Sweden still wins the silver, man. I would have liked to have seen that team with the full squad. I think they really would have given Canada a fight. I think they had all four of those guys in that gold medal game. I think, I'm telling you, we would have had an epic contest. It's really too bad the injuries, and then the IOC had this, really steal any luster from that game. But
and Sweden was the last team to beat them, to deny them a gold medal in 06.
In 06, yes. So
basically with the same team. Yeah. Those two teams, I mean, they're incredible. I mean, these guys just don't age. They just play. Yeah. Well, even Finland, I mean,
I know.
Half that roster is 100 years old and above. They're
unreal.
I think they played in the original Athens games.
That's Sammy Salo. It's like, come on, man. Yeah.
Yeah, I know there weren't Winter Olympics back in the original Athens days, but
oh no, Mount Olympus, man. It's cold in the wintertime. Man. Yeah, Zeus was frozen, man. He has the power to freeze everything. Yes, there go the Olympics, just like a flash. But we got to take a break here on All Noise Radio on the Zuki and Ruggs Show. And when we come back, spring training baseball's underway. It doesn't feel like it outside, people, but spring is coming. It's around the corner. We got some baseball stories, including the Mets, who got a couple stories. The Mets stealing some headlines here after the break on All Noise Radio.
When you need a cup, pour some sugar ramen.
Sugar ramen?
Yeah, soup.
Freeze. A call to the library could help her out. Good thing T-Mobile lets her call whenever she wants. Go.
Says here, pour some sugar on me. I'm hot, sticky, sweet.
Mm-hmm.
The most whenever minutes, free long distance and roaming. Only from T-Mobile.
Get more.
How do I catch it?
Just stand there and stick your glove out in the air. I'll take care of it.
It's the Zuki and Ruggs Show on All Noise Radio.
Yeah, baby. We're back here on the Zuki and Ruggs Show on a cold and brisk Friday. We're going to talk about spring training started in Florida. With that comes a couple stories. First story coming out in Tampa. Really, Ruggs, I want to just kick it over to you and ask you a question. A few months ago when Robinson Cano signed his monumental contract with the Seattle Mariners, I came on and stuck up for Robinson and really condemned the Yankees for not signing him.
Yeah, you were slightly critical.
Yeah, to say the very least. And I've been justified because since then, the Yankees have spent money like it's, monopoly money. Yet again, the Yankees just spend away obscenely and carelessly, rewarding Brett Gardner, who barely played last year, but he played nonetheless, with a 4-year, $52 million extension. Really mind-boggling to me that Robinson Cano was too expensive, but the Yankees have spent $530 million this offseason on new contracts. Hold on. Let me repeat that. Maybe I'm crazy. The Yankees have spent $530 million on new contracts this offseason. But Robinson Cano was too expensive. Ruggs, help me. Help me, Ruggs. Help.
I just think Brian Cashman's lost his mind. What is the $530 million bought him? It's not a great roster.
Mm-hmm.
That should be.
I don't know. Robinson Cano was a problem.
An all-time team for $530 million. That should be
Murderer's Row.
Thank you. The Cooperstown Express should be coming out.
Yeah.
I'm speechless on it. I really am.
I don't know what else to say, bro. It's like
there's nothing wrong with rewarding your own, paying the guys that are already there and not shipping them out and going after new players, but reward.
Brett Gardner. That guy's gonna make like almost $15 million a year.
If locked up Cano, and who knows what it was going to take in the end, because there's still some back and forth about he was trying to get more out of him, and I admit I was not a big fan of paying that sum of money, but I didn't know they were going to do all this other stuff. If you're going to go on a spending palooza and just go crazy, well then you should have got him back. Come on. I thought they were going to actually say what they said they were going to do and stay within the luxury tax limits and be a little wiser with their money. I was okay with letting Cano go because he didn't fit in that plan, and they were going to try to scale it back a little, build for the future perhaps a little, maybe get younger. There's a concept. Let's get a little younger as a team.
Yeah, well.
We were just talking about that with the Olympics in the last segment. You can't win when you're ancient.
Yeah.
In sports, it's hard to do.
Especially in baseball, it's a long season. Ruggs, I don't get it. I really think honestly, the Yankees really, and Brian Cashman, every time you see him, he really does remind you of a spoiled little kid. And when it just seems like every time the Red Sox win a World Series, the Yankees go ballistic. They go on a spending spree, and they try to buy another World Series. It worked for them in 2009. I don't think it's going to work for them now. And you know what? Looking back, that may have been the worst thing that happened to them because – winning that World Series in 2009, because he can sit there on his high horse and be like, well, I did the same thing in the winter of 2008, and we won the World Series in 2009, so, don't question me. Yeah, I'll question you, Brian. You suck, okay? Here's another guy who can't do Brian Cashman's job? I think I could do Brian Cashman's job with my eyes and my mouth shut.
This way, anybody could.
I mean, it's a joke.
I mean, there's been some past years where he's done a decent job. He's made
some good acquisitions.
Yeah, I mean, but I'm going back now.
Yeah,
I'm not just sitting there.
I mean, here's
playing.
Here's Brett
Yankee Monopoly. I'll buy that. I'll throw a hotel on here, put two houses on Boardwalk.
He offered Cano the same money as Masahiro Tanaka. What? He's paying Masahiro Tanaka like $175 million. That's what he offered Cano.
Well, that's why I said I didn't like the move at the time with Cano, but I didn't know he was going to go and do this.
Right. And yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. We didn't. No one knew because that was like 2 months ahead of time.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so it makes no sense. So he sits there and he condemns Cano publicly. I don't care what he condemned him. I don't care what he says. And then you get this clown, Kevin. Hey, Kevin Long, do me a favor. Go eat a hot dog and shut your mouth. Okay? You're a bum. Shut the hell up, Kevin Long. He didn't hustle to first base. Well, you know what? Kevin, with your crappy lineup, you're going to be hustling to the unemployment line. Okay? That's where you're going to be hustling. I want to see how fast you run to the unemployment line, you bum. Shut up. The only reason you have a job is because of Robinson Cano.
You don't have to pay a posting fee for Robinson Cano.
The thing, and this is what makes me crazy, is that we offered Cano $175, but you turn around and gave a Japanese pitcher who's never pitched here, you gave him the same money. What? Robinson Cano is a Hall of Famer right now. This Cashman is clueless. He's lost. Yankee fans should be ready to revolt. I tell you what, if I was a Yankee fan, I'm not going to a stadium this year.
And there's a lot of people who think these are good moves.
Oh, well, because they're so used to the Yankees winning. Money hides holes. I'm telling you right now, it's not going to hide it. Here's your $52 million left fielder, Yankee fans. Okay. 2009, 3 homers, 23 RBIs, 26 steals, 270 batting average. Oh, I know he plays a good outfield. I don't care. Okay? I don't care how good he plays in outfield. He's a great defender. Yeah, he's doing a big deal.
But he's playing in Yankee Stadium in the American League East. That's not going to cut anything.
2010, this is your number 9 hitter probably, and he's making $13 million a year. I mean, it's a joke. 5 homers, 47 ribeyes, 47 steals, okay. 277 batting average, 383 on base, okay. OPS 762. Yeah, he stinks. 2011, 7 dingers, 36 ribeyes, 49 steals. Very good. He's a one-trick pony. 259 batting average, 345 on base. I won't get into slugging. I mean, that's...
So basically
And then last year...
He's giving you even more of what you already tried to get from Ellsbury.
I get all that.
What are you trying to make your team?
Brian Cashman watched the movie and read the book Moneyball and misinterpreted the meaning. He thought Moneyball meant spend more money, not let's get marginal players who are not big money players and put them on our team collectively and build a winning team like Billy Beane has done in Oakland. I mean, he hasn't won World Series, but you look at some of those Oakland rosters the last 2 years. My God, that team's going to the playoffs, taking Detroit to 5-game series back-to-back years. You're talking about a team with Coco Crisp and Brandon Moss and Josh Donaldson, who came out of you know what I'm saying? Billy Beane's a genius. Brian Cashman is a clown. This team's going nowhere.
When I said, I thought maybe they were a high 80s win team with a shot at 90, we talked about this, maybe about a month back.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm scaling that way back now.
Yeah.
I don't like this team at all.
I don't like it either. And one more thing, I'll touch on it again. Baseball needs a salary cap. I mean, this is a joke that an owner and a GM could just be drunk on power and money, just carelessly and just with reckless abandon, just spend $500 million in one offseason, and they lost their best player. Imagine if they had kept Cano. If they had re-signed Cano, they would have spent about $700 million.
Yeah.
In offseason.
Come on. The Yankees are always the biggest critic of revenue sharing. And the reason they always were the biggest critic of revenue sharing is they said, why should we get penalized for other teams' bad spending?
Oh, my God.
Well, what are you doing now?
Careless spending. It's hypocrisy. They're the only sport without a cap. It's just ridiculous.
Well, you got to tell these idiots to stop going to the games. And if they want to change it, the Yankee fans...
Yeah.
Stop shelling out ridiculous money to go to see that team. Because that team is not worth
you know what though?
Your mortgage payment to go watch them play.
The problem is this, though. What do we got? What do we have this year for the Yankees? Derek Jeter retirement tour.
Well, that'll help them a lot.
And that's going to bring in about 4 million people because people want to see Jeter. It's his last year. And maybe that's what they're banking on. Maybe the Yankees are banking on Derek Jeter's retirement and that they'll be able to make the money back. But
for me, it's not, because I'll tell you what, I just got offered a family trip. We're going to go and do that to see Jeter going off. I turned it down.
Oh, really?
It's not worth it to me.
Yeah. Well, hey, I don't know, bro, but we'll see what happens. I mean, maybe the Yankees are just going to spend, and then next year it looks like the big free agent on the market, unless the Dodgers are able to lock him up, as Hanley Ramirez. So how coincidentally enough, the biggest boys in the yard are going to have a hole at shortstop, and look who hits the free agent market, Hanley Ramirez. What are the odds that he ends up with the Yankees? I'd put it at about 1 to 500 million that he's on the Yankees. Okay, whatever. I'm over the Yankees. Good luck to you. I hope you win 50 games, you bums. But a couple other stories that broke out in Port St. Lucie for the other New York team. At Tradition Field, I don't know what kind of tradition the Mets have, but a tradition of losing. But nevertheless, at Tradition Field, Matt Harvey threw 20 pitches. He didn't ramp it up. Obviously, he's not throwing 100 miles per hour, but. It's
a positive sign.
He did some tossing, only a few months after the surgery. So, big story there. We'll see how Matt's progress will come along as the season progresses. Obviously, most likely he won't pitch this season. He could probably be ready, you would think, by about August or September. But if the Mets are way out of it, if the Mets aren't very good and they're not playing meaningful games.
But if they can hang in there, Zuki, what a shot in the arm that could be.
Oh, my God. Yeah, no pun intended, right?
Huge. Yeah, exactly.
No pun intended to Matt Harvey. But, he would give them a boost, to say the very least. If they're a few games out, again, hey, we got the 2 wild card situation. So if the Mets are a few games out of that second wild card spot.
That's not a tremendous division.
No, and I think the National League is not overly dominant. And I will say this, the Mets, I think, are pretty close right now. I don't know, I haven't seen any confirmation, but they're pretty close right now to acquiring Steven Drew, because Ruben Tejada showed up to spring training. It does not look good. Poor attitude. He doesn't look like he's in game shape. So I think the Mets are pretty much fed up with Ruben Tejada. So I think they were willing to give him one more shot, but they were not happy about the way he showed up to spring training. So I think the Mets are finally saying, you know what, let's just go get Steven Drew. They were also discussing Nick Franklin from Seattle, who's a pretty darn good player. Either way, huge upgrade over Ruben Tejada, who's a bum, probably arguably the worst shortstop in all of baseball. If everything clicks for the Mets, they really may not be all that bad. If this Travis d'Arnaud, that the catching prospect, plays like an elite prospect, as he's been projected to be, you obviously got the franchise David Wright. If you get, let's just say for argument's sake, they get Steven Drew, he's solid. Steven Drew's a solid ball player. Murphy's a solid hitter. You look at the outfield, you got Granderson. You got to hope that Granderson's not the next Jason Bay. You got to hope Granderson is productive. I think he can be. I think, especially defensively, I think he will be. He'll strike out a lot, but if he can go 25, 90, steal about 25 bases, that's what you want from Granderson. Then they got Chris Young. You got guys like Juan Lagares and Eric Young. Eric Young, who led the National League in stolen bases last year. The pitching is still pretty good. Nice.
They got a nice big ballpark to help it out.
That's right. And you got some young guys coming. Noah Syndergaard will be there. He'll be here eventually.
Maybe Cashman thinks they're taking over Citi Field with the Yankees, and that's why he's building the team this way. He's going to pay Gardner and Ellsbury and all these guys to run around. Maybe there's something you don't know or we don't know about. You're out of there. We're taking over that stadium. You can have ours.
Maybe, man.
And I'm guilty of it just like everybody else. It always gets turned back to the Yankees. Let the Mets have their equal time because they're the more deserving team right now of the chatter because the Yankees are just disgraceful right now. The way
they're just a total antithesis of the Yankees. You got the big spending Yankees, and you got the conservative Mets who are building through the farm, trying to make wise decisions, which I think they have. I mean, I like the Cologne signing. I think Cologne's going to be okay. They went and got Granderson, so they actually made a couple good moves. Another big story, and this guy is the wild card. I know I'm going to say his name, and Met fans are going to cringe. I cringe when I say it too. But Ruggs, Ike Davis is the wild card. If Ike Davis can just show some upside and just stay semi-consistent. I know he's not Joey Votto. He never will be, okay? But if he can just be, 250, 25, I won't even go 1. I'll just say 80 RBIs. He's got a solid glove. He really does. Ike Davis can play first base defensively. If he just doesn't kill you, he can help the Mets win some more games, and that makes the Mets a better team because early on, he killed the Mets. They were batting him in the middle of the lineup. Harvey was throwing complete game one hitters and still losing because Ike Davis was just a rally kill for that team the entire first half. So he's the wild card, and of course the story comes out. Mike Puma, he reported that Ike Davis had confided in him and telling him that he had an oblique injury, and that's kind of what hindered him in 2013. And then the crazy story is, Puma reported this, and Ike Davis blew a gasket. He went after Puma like he wanted to kill him. Kind of yelled at the media and stuff. I sucked because I sucked. No excuses. And it's really odd because, when you were as bad as you were in 2013, wouldn't you want to make an excuse? He really needs to focus on baseball, focus on playing better, and don't pick fights with the media because you're not going to win. Ike, you're going to get buried. You got guys like us talking on the microphones. You got reporters. You're not going to beat the media. Take a lesson from Derek Jeter. Just shut your mouth. Focus on being a major league first baseman. So,
well said.
I could see the Mets being like a 70-win team, but I could also see the Mets being like an 85-win team if everything really goes right for them. The bullpen's a little bit of a mess, but I don't know, Ruggs. What do you think about the Mets? Are you looking at their roster? What do you think about the Mets?
It's just funny because I was just about to say I like them around 85 wins, and you said, and it's kind of so we're kind of in accord on that. They got to get off to a good start and hang in there. Again, like we talked about, the division's not tremendous. The National League is not tremendous. I hope things break right. Guys play the way they're capable of playing. The signings that they made, if they pan out well for them, I think they have a chance to be competitive in that division. I don't know that I would pick them as a playoff team, but they're right on the cusp of a second wild card.
The Mets really have some impressive arms in the minors and, here now. So, within the next year or so, the Mets could, in my opinion, have the best pitching staff in baseball. And that's exactly the blueprint the San Francisco Giants used to win 2 World Series in 3 seasons. And, you couple that with a couple strong hitters, which the Mets have, David Wright, with Granderson, and if Travis d'Arnaud materializes into a stud player.
They're very high on him.
Yeah, and if they could find a spot for Wilmer Flores, who's also a big-time bat, you get some clutch hitters on that team, you could have a World Series team. In baseball, it's not that difficult. It is difficult, but you don't need a star-studded team, Brian Cashman. If you put a gun to my head in terms of over-under, I got the Mets at 78.
I'll go 83. I'm surprised I'm the more optimistic one of the two.
Yeah.
On the Mets.
Well, because you're not a Mets fan. That's why. That's why. I can answer
that right.
I can answer that logically.
It is much easier to crush your own team than it is to throw stones at others.
That's right. Great job, Ruggs. As always, man. Good show.
You too, brother.
We covered a lot of stuff. That was awesome. Yeah, thank you for listening.
Stay warm. Curl up with a couple of episodes on the YouTube channel.
That's right.
If you've missed any, making up, you always can. You can go right back from number 1 and listen all the way through. I did that when I was supposed to be working and listen to all our old episodes.
That's right.
During a snowstorm.
You could, and see how right we always are. We nailed our Super Bowl predictions, and
it's eerie when you go back and listen to.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, and thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you guys next week here on All Noise Radio.
Take care, everybody.
All Noise Radio, your number 2 rock and roll station.
Hey, bud, let's party.
Learn it, know it, live it.